Hello. Hey everybody. What's up? Uh I got my reading glasses on. I'm an old man now. I look like I look like Brad Dourif. Hey everybody, we're starting a tournament in 2 minutes. But I can see these aren't prescription. I gotta get some real glasses, but Chess Riddler. Impatient. Damn dude. Impatient. Impatient. Alright, dude. There'll always be a stream. It's hot. It's like it's amazing, like the difference between seeing and not seeing. You know, with like simple like drugstore glasses, I can actually see words on the screen now. I can read. It's like night and day. Hey everybody. Hey, boss. You're gonna want to lay off the liquor there, Al, for a few weeks while your liver recuperates. Uh, I'm gonna need you to lay off the liquor. Uh, 29 seconds. Ooh, it's hot in here, man. It's 36 degrees Celsius. I didn't really get glasses. These are just temporary. These are just temporary reading glasses so I can see the screen. So I can look like Brad Dourif. I want to be the doctor from Deadwood. Hey everybody. How are you? Alright, of course. Yeah, Chess Riddler, he only plays to challenge me in the first round. At least I'm white. Ooh, I got a request to join the team. Hold on a second here. We got a request to join the team. Zan, oh no. Za and stuff. This account violated the lichess terms of service. Don't let him in the team, Asterbate. Please check and make sure nobody has like violated lichess terms of service before you like admit them to the team. Sack draw. Gifting tier 1 sub to community. I know the quote is an antithesis to the stream. It doesn't matter, Asterbate. When I first realized, I almost canceled it because it had a Nakamura quote. But then I just thought, okay, whatever, I don't care. You know, of course it's the antithesis of the stream. But it's stupid, you know? This whole argument is stupid. You're rubbing your hands as to how many blunders your opponent's gonna make. It's pretty bad, dude. You're digging down in the barrel of like most pathetic chess quotes ever said. I don't get the argument, you know. So let's just pretend there's no Hikaru quote about. Let's pretend there's no Hikaru quote about bullet chess or whatever. I don't care. It's just like I don't care. It's not even like he has a point or something. There's no point to that quote, dude. I don't know. I told you I lost to the stogie chewing guy who was like in 1800. But I tried, you see, what I did against Stogie Guy back in like 1996 or whatever it was, the last time I lost to an 1800, I tried to blow him away, you know? It was like I dissed him. I was playing like f4. I was overconfident, and I treated this old Benoni I tried to blow the guy away with f4, and it's probably a good move. You know, to be fair, it's probably a good move, but it's not the only good move. And you're taking the law in your own hands with f4. Saxite Draw, thanks for the gift sub. I'm afraid I'm going to look like chess coach Andrash with these glasses. I'm not getting the Discord notifications that you're streaming. And you misspelled Discord. Just letting you know. Like, Discord is not literally spelled Discord, like it's music. Andrash. I love it, phonetic Andrash. Phonetic Andrash. No one of the streamers are cool. But thanks for gifting us. Yeah, I'm the only cool streamer. Alright, that's the rule here. Nobody compliments other streamers. We just insult them. Discord records. Yeah. Focus on chess, Netta. Try to focus on the chess. The chess thing. Remember? That's why we're here. We're playing chess. I'm not gonna let you guys distract me. Netta must not be playing today. So you're just like kind of tempo down. Tempo down, Bill. I had two, but only like positions at the World Senior Team. Oh, somebody wrote an article on US Chess website. Some new, random, like an update on, and the quote was, and the other teams, the World Senior, had some, like, what was it? Well-known names like Mark Ginsburg and Leonid Sokolow. Like, I haven't forgotten. I'm an expat. Nobody knows who I am anymore in the United States. It's been so long since I think I played in a tournament in 2016. My last one. But Chess Riddler's play is just he doesn't do like he clearly doesn't do listening to my advice. He's like Sun Prison but worse. There's no excuse like, oh, I'm following the Euro today. You moved your bishop 18 times. I think he follows Hikaru's advice, though. He's a believer in Hikaru quotes. I gotta be careful with this business. So, it's an interesting question. You know, strategically, one could argue that black is doing the wrong thing here. E5. E5 95. It's no good. I have bishop h6. I should probably exchange. Do I really want to do this? Alright. White is better. I feel like the glasses aren't straight. Mule Skinner, welcome. Oh, did I just move that? I just moved that? Why is my video capture thing isn't blocked? I just moved it. We can see the board. The board is... You guys see the names? Okay, that's good. The time is a little screwed up. Let's move the board so we can see the time. I've been messing around with my my stuff here a little. Okay, that's too much. That's almost just right. Damn it! It won't let me go in between. That's so annoying, bro. You know, it will not let me. It will not let me do it halfway. It's like it's gotta be a little bit off. Oh, well, I can't. It will not let me. Sorry. It will not let me adjust it. I don't know why. Alright, so e5 is the key break here. It doesn't seem like I have it. So what do I have if I don't do e5? Well, white's just better in my opinion in this position. I don't have to do anything fancy. Where's Mr. Coffee? There he is. There's Nedog. Yeah. Nedog, you're the biggest nerd I know. You're just endlessly nerd-like. You can't enter a chess stream and talk about chess. You're unbelievable. You're almost as bad as Bob. Where's Bob? Nedog, you're not playing Uber drivers here. Nedog's not playing. That's why he's talking so much in the chat. Bijak is here. Good to see you. Guys, don't let me forget I didn't berserk because I was, of course, not prepared mentally. Yeah, I can't accept congratulations on that tournament, man. I messed up at the end. It's not even like losing to Yarderson, but not beating the guy in round 8 was a fucking disaster, to be fair. How do you defend h7? You don't. Alright. Nah, I screwed up in round 8. We had a rest day. It didn't really matter for me. And then like in round 8, I had a winning position. I played a good game, and I was a little low on time, and I just became impatient and freaked out and allowed the guy a perpetual. He was extremely weak for an FM. He played really badly. It's such a good feeling when you play a pretty good game and then you like blunder, and even your opponent saw how you could win. He's like, after the game, he's just like, you could have played rook b7. Everybody's telling me the same thing, like you could have played rook b7. They're pointing out the obvious win that I had. I don't know, man. I had this problem like in poker the other night, last night. Alright, I just realized I'm playing with a madman, so we don't know what to expect here from Chess Riddler. Maybe he'll sack his queen. Move 11 is on 85 months. How do you know that? Is Move 11 here? B-Jack, thanks for the congratulations, but our team did better than I feel like our team did a little... we're disappointed with the team. We're disappointed with the individual result. I did okay, but I kind of messed up. I was shaky. There was a game where I blundered and I was lost early on. Well, he resubbed earlier. Really? By the way, guys, we're almost at 10,000 followers on Twitch. It's been a long road. 85 months or more. Oh yeah, I see. 41 minutes ago, Move 11. So before the stream started. So I thought you were going to do something crazy here, like a Zen chess. You guys know Zen chess would do like Queen h8, right? No. I wondered if he could just not exchange queens, though. Just not defend h7. I know that it seems irrational, but maybe there's some way that I could not defend h7 here and just play, like... What if you just play, like, knight f4? It seems like right up his alley. I think there's a problem, though. He probably calculated that and realized that it doesn't work. The problem is if he does knight f4, I just play knight takes h7. Yeah. He probably was spending all his time on that move. Yeah, that's what you were thinking about for so long. Mm-hmm. And queen h8 is bishop takes h5, so you didn't want to exchange queens, but you finally did. And now I have f4, which is really important. This is like absolutely pivotal. But I get that. I get that square. Yesterday I played some guy who, it was a rapid game, like 10-0. And I played some guy, he was terrible, like 17, 1800, but played far worse. He was just crushed the whole game. And then he played like engine moves, 40 moves in a row. And like even like won a on ending against me between the time. Who does that? Like, why? Really? You play on your own and you wait until you're like -4 in a lost position and you start cheating with an engine. It's like mental. All right. Now f4. Nenok has resubscribed. Bijak has resubscribed. I reported the guy for cheating, but there's like no way they're gonna be like, oh my god, he was horrible. They're never gonna catch him. So g3. All right, did I blunder yet? Unclear. Pawn shelves. Steps of pawns. You have f5 here. Didn't want to do it. f5 would have been better, maybe. Well, somewhere in the middle, though. All right. So I'm good. I have e5. This might even be better. Just Riddler. That up 1 year. Yeah, I just had a lesson with one of my students, and we realized like I have been teaching him for a year. He's playing in the same tournament he played in last year. Like, yeah, remember I played in this from last year. Uh-oh. Someone's trying to join our team again. All right, no jokes about the assassination attempt. You see that in Australia? In Australia, somebody, oh, Jack Black's like bandmate or whatever, joked about, next time don't miss. And the Australian lawmakers are going to have them like deported. Just a question, in all seriousness, like how many times has Donald Trump called for his opponents to be like, executed publicly? I mean, seriously, like he's literally done that. I'm just asking a question. The guy is literally like suggested this. He should be hanged or, I think another good question is how is there no discussion about, notice how there's no discussion about gun control, right? When Donald Trump, the attempt to assassinate him with like an automatic weapon, wouldn't having a discussion about gun control make sense? Like, who's to blame if Donald Trump is assassinated? Like, well, maybe it might have something to do with the fact that nobody has any kind of method of restricting like access to automatic weapons. It's just such a sick world we live in. All right. Anyway, ridiculous. Can't be a pundit. E5. Guns make everyone safer. Look, man, I'm okay with, I completely agree with self-defense and hunting, but there is no way that automatic weapons should be available, you know, in the hands of like general people in the public. It's just, you cannot make a case for that shit. It's all about, it's just all about, it's just ridiculous, you know. All right, b5, nice try. b5. Hey, that's a nice b5 you got there. Ooh, what am I going to do? Well, I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to take it. You know, that's it, man. We're just not taking it. What if I don't take it? How do you feel about that? What are you going to do about that, man? What if I don't take it? What if I don't want it? Look at this. The pawn snake. So the Benoni is severed in half. Like you have two severed parts of a snake there. I have the A file too. God, this is beautiful. And I have no need for automatic weapons. I mean, for gun manufacturers, it's good, but automatic weapons are not necessary for self-defense or hunting. So it should be a non-starter. But you can't make a joke about Donald Trump, even though, like, you know, the Republicans are largely responsible for the fact that there's no gun control. It's just ridiculous. And another thing in the news that makes me upset, it's like all anyone cares about on the right side is Donald Trump. He survived. What about the guy who died? Like nobody even says a word. There's this like spectator at the rally who died. You know, you don't hear shit about that. You know, this guy just died, and all that's important is that Donald Trump is okay. It's just a perfect example of the world that we live in. I mean, Donald Trump is literally responsible for that guy, in a way, you know, indirectly being dead. But he also made the choice to go to a Donald Trump rally, probably not the safest thing to do. But, you know, it's just such a sick world we live in. Anyway, all right, we got it. This is a cool game. Was and is and will be. All right, he resigned a little early here. Mule Skinner, Impure King, Sparkle Horse, Uber Driver, R. Brenton, Alireza GM, Chess Riddler, Fato Pasa, Sung Prism, Repunj Bansal, Astrobate, and Goga Fett. So anyway, I'm not here to do political commentary, but I gotta like speak up when I think of something. I think the dude who died deserves better than to just like be ignored. And we shouldn't be using an assassination attempt to score political points and stuff. But again, maybe like an assault weapon ban would be a good idea. But if they don't do it after like, you know, millions of little kids get killed, you know, every day, I guess they're not going to ban assault weapons because someone tried to assassinate Donald Trump. Anyway, it's a boring topic, I know. But it's big news, you know. This is the biggest exciting thing that happened in a long time. All right, we've got Mule Skinner in first place, Impure King, Sparkle Horse, Uber Driver here early and often. Uber Driver, you're not usually at the beginning of these tournaments. Now, why aren't you playing? Did you say already? King takes G7 and I'm fine. King takes G7. Oh, right. Not to let me play Queen H6. Well, I mean, we both probably can make a lot of better moves in that game. You're fielding phone calls. You're phoning field calls. The whole thing is sick. Yeah, everyone wants him dead, but they just want to admit it. Even Mr. Coffee. We all have to be, you know, we have to keep it's like the whole collective world, like 75% of the whole collective world, like secretly wish that he had been shot, but we can't say that because that's politically incorrect. But you know that's what like 70% of the world population is, or maybe just 60. I don't know. Thinking. Can't say what you're thinking. All right. Repunch Bansal. Nedog is a 911 dispatcher. I hope not. Alright, Repunch Bansal. Why do I keep getting fast opponents? No, I agree. Like, look, man. We can't be, like, condoning, like, political assassinations. But people are going to think what they think, and you can't change that. Let's be honest about it. Our Swiss trophy doesn't really have enough games, but I'll give it to him. He just about has enough games, just under 100. So Repunch, you're playing the Smith Mora? What? Busy season. This is the busy season? What do you mean busy season? Busy season must be like September. August, September. Busy season? Isn't busy season when all the students come back in like end of August? Like, consequences could have been much worse. Anyway. All right. Well, I think the only consequences of that is worse is that more people would have died. But people are dying in mass shootings like every other day, so it's insane, you know. The assassination of one man outweighs like when like 20 little kids get shot in a school or something. Bishop c4 a6. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Of course they don't. Not in this case. All of July until early September is busy here. Okay, so it starts early, as you're saying. Nedog, it starts early. So you're seeing mostly students moving. The retaliation bit. I'm surprised like conspiracy theories haven't cropped up that it was a false flag operation. If it was Joe Biden that was tempted to be assassinated, the Republicans would have been like, "Oh, it's a false flag operation." It's all he had a blood capsule in his hand and like put it on his ear and yeah. What's the chances that you get hit in the ear? What are the chances? What are the chances it nicks your ear when someone tries to? I mean, I'd like to know the statistical chances of that. Has that ever happened in the history of like political candidates? Another person getting like their ear nicked during an assassination attempt? Last minute bookings. Oh no. The late August prices? Oh, I guess I'm gonna find a different moving company. When I have to move my stuff. I'll make sure to contact you in the off season. Alright. Yeah, I'll just get a pack mule or something. Some people say Trump was a man. Oh yeah. Of course, dude. Well, that would be believable except for the fact that an innocent bystander was killed, you know. Maybe Putin would do something like that. But I'd like to think that I don't think that it's a false flag operation. Of course, conspiracy theories everything can be a conspiracy theory. I was just joking. Of course, the conspiracy theories will come out, because that's that's what people do. Bishop f4. That's not usual. Does that somehow circumvent bishop g4? Okay. So if I were to play another move here, what would it be? So anyway, you have square bishops. It's a bishop rectangle. Bishop cube. It's like fangs. Fangs. You're a vampire. I like when people do that against the hippo. Now I could play b5, but let's get a little more development. Yeah, I think that Repunch is just he's winging it here, winging the Smith-Morra gambit. Unfortunately, rook e1 isn't really the greatest, most dynamic plan. I need to seriously consider playing b5 soon. No, queen e2, but I mean, rook e1 is redundant. So b5, what do you do? I should just play b5, I think. Are you going to sack a piece? I don't think that's sound. Somewhat unsound. Bishop f4 is normal. Queen e2 is usually better than rook e1. Yeah. I'm just saying it's redundant, Queen e2 and rook e1 is somewhat redundant. No, anybody who's like an expert in the Smith-Morra is gonna recognize that white has done something slightly unusual here. The Smith-Morra isn't a great opening, and oh, yeah, one of my students had one of my strongest students, who's like 2,000 plus, had a Smith-Morra, and his opponent was like close to 2,100, and I was like, and my student like killed him with black. It was a minor upset, and I was thinking like, this is probably the last game this guy's going to play the Smith-Morra. Like when you realize that the Smith-Morra is only good against people who are like under 2,000, that's the moment where you're like, okay, yeah, I'm done. Queen. You got to stop playing the Smith-Morra when you start facing master level opposition, or else you're just burning points, chess rating points, to a beacon like crisp. You're throwing away your rating points. Sack draw. I don't know, bro, but Lenderman didn't even play it against me when I lost to him when he was 2,100. I can't imagine he would play it against GMs. Yeah, probably in like Title Tuesday tournaments. It's fine for like blitz, but Lenderman felt like he had already been playing the Smith-Morra when he was a kid, and when I lost to him, when he was just on the verge of getting to master, he already had the sensibility not to play it against me in like 2003. He played an open Sicilian in the game where I got food poisoning because he knew better than to play the Smith-Morra against me. He knows it's not good, but he probably plays it from time to time just for fun, but it's it's not as good as an open Sicilian, obviously. Okay. Okay. Well, maybe he has a brain-eating worm or something. That's possible. But I would think it would be a very stupid thing to do, sack draw. I'd like to know the Grandmaster. Show me the Grandmasters he defeated with the Smith Mora. You know, I'd love to see some game scores of classical games that Alex Linderman won against Grandmasters with the Smith Mora. I'd be very surprised if you could come up with too many. I was sort of out of chess, but what are we doing here? I have knight h5. Crazy idea, but it might work. Yeah, it's a typical move. Knight h5. Knight to h5. Knight h5, bishop g5. Pawn takes pawn, knight takes f4. Pawn takes queen. That's good for me. I like this. I'm not saying it's impossible to win games of the opening. I'm saying it's an inferior choice, and you're stepping on your own bleep if you play that against strong players. So look, I played a lot of bad openings, and it's just another example of a bad opening choice. There's openings that would work well against club players. You know, this is one of them. And if you're an expert like certain people, you can probably hold a draw with white, but you're not going to beat too many grandmasters with the white side of the Smith Mora. You probably get quite a few draws, an occasional win, and more losses than you get wins. You know, whereas if you play something mainline, you probably have a plus score. Well, you could. I'm open to discussion. I would bet that if a grandmaster played the Smith Mora with white, I'd be surprised if they had better than 50% against other grandmasters. The bishop g5. Okay. So what does this do? That's a really, really nice. Are you playing with the Nokia again, Ripunj Bansal? He doesn't do pawns. He's beyond that now. He's gone beyond pawn moves. Only does piece moves. Now knight f4 is still possible, but it might be overextending myself a bit. Do I want to do knight f4? Maybe I do want to do it. No, yes, bishop d6. No. Knight f4. Where does it put the queen? Queen e4. That's the problem. All right, so I can't. Knight takes. Should I take with a knight? One more look at knight f4. Knight f4, queen e4, knight e7, queen a8, bishop b7. Can't trap his queen. It has one square, maybe more. Queen e7, maybe queen e7, queen e7, knight e5, queen e7, knight e5. Well, I guess there's not a lot of choices. 1900. It was a good year. So here we have a typical sort of scenario. It looks like white objectively hasn't even played the best moves, and he still has drawing chances. I don't have a choice. But what do you get at the end of the day? What do you get at the end of the day when you play the Smith-Morra? No, yes, tactics. Weird. Well, I just have to move my knight. Maybe bishop c4. Bishop c2. So I have to defend my king. I don't know, dude. Masturbate. Again. Went rogue and let Repunch back in the team after his missteps. But as far as we know, he is legit. Rossalimo. Oh, Rossalimo, anything is good. C3 Sicilian, Rossalimo mainline. Even the closed Sicilian, I think it's kind of crap, but alright. Smith-Morra would like be the bottom of the barrel in my opinion. There's just no need to play it. It's just not quite good enough. Okay, I don't like the closed Sicilian. But definitely the others. Richard Pryor? How did Richard Pryor get here? We have another request to join the team? Where are these guys coming from? Cheetah blocked. How can they be blocked? I'm getting a request from someone, Cheetah65 blocked. Joined 4 years ago, and then they have only 27 games. What the fuck? What's that about? Repunch, are you looking for a forced win here? Because you feel like that's somehow justified? I think I played like as good as humanly possible. But perhaps I made a mistake. I couldn't imagine like playing better here, but I think I missed something. Okay, knight d5 I saw, but I was gonna play a bad one. Knight d5, queen c5. Knight d5, queen h4. Knight d5, queen h4. It's not ideal. I like knight d5, queen a7. I love a7. It's a great square. And certainly, you know, the kind of thing that happens in the Smith-Morra all the time. Too many options. Queen c5, whoops. Bishop c2. Alright. I think at this point, queen h4 is no longer an option. We need to play bishop b7. See, white is a pawn down, has some compensation, and is effectively fighting for a draw, you know, if black doesn't blunder. And that's what happens when you play a Smith-Morra. That's what's supposed to happen, you know? Now, if I wasn't a good player, if I was below master strength, white would have some raging initiative right now. Bro, f4. That's a safe move. Wow. I have bishop takes g2. Oof. It's a tactic. It's a trick. It's a trick. He's just trying to trick me into opening the. He's just trying to trick me into opening the diagonal. Wow, that's sick. This is sick. You're sick, Sladgie. You're just trying to trick me into open the G file, aren't you? It's a savage trap. F4 was not a good idea. What little pawn cover white had is gone now. Yeah, because he was formerly banned. I'm still not 100% sure, though. Exactly. I don't know. Why does Nedog show up as suspicious user? Who's that Nedog guy? He was formerly banned. Your account is not verified by phone number. But this still doesn't seem like a reason. Really? You have to verify your account by a phone number? I don't know, bro. That seems kind of extreme, doesn't it? Verified by Play Protect. Just don't move. Don't let me move my knight. Okay, so rook d8. Suspicious user is kind of harsh for not verifying your phone number. Oh my god. That's so cool. Interesting. I have 2 pawns for a piece, but a good structure. Oh, he found that. That's a surprise, huh? We're all surprised. No. Are you kidding me with another? No, dude. I just declined this. Why is it coming up again? So I just hung a piece? Interesting. Take back. That's where they send you the take back request. That was close call. I wonder how much compensation I have. Not enough, but some. It was not enough, but some. It wouldn't have been that easy. He had a time advantage, too. Chances are pretty close there. That was a serious blunder. Bishop takes g2. Wait, what was it again? Okay, I played bishop takes g2, and then he played rook d2, and I played queen a7 check, rook f2, and then rook d8. I went too far. Yeah, this seems like a strange position to play out in an arena. in 2006. XXL really sticking to his guns. That's good. I hate Potashnik. Potashnik's a dick, you know? I'm glad he lost to the Smith-Morra. He deserves it. He's always got this smile on his face, this like smug smile, you know? And he's freaking bipolar. Alright. Back to tournament. Never trust people who walk around with this like weird smug smile on their face all the time. That's very strange. Impure King is in first place. This is pretty random. Impure King is in first place. Mule Skinner is in second. Chess Fiddler is in third. Uber Driver, Spark Wars. We don't have any high-rated players. I don't understand. Zen Chess isn't here. Uber Driver is over 2,200. But you fell for the only trick. You're trying to bet. Well, you're down to 2146, Zen Chess. You got no games. Okay, you're playing now, but I mean you have no results. You're playing malformed. You're not what? Not in the tournament or not a strong player? You've let your rating drop on your 2200. But no, I mean there's usually like we would always get like 2300s. Oh, you said I wasn't there. Well, you're there, but you had no games, so I thought you like didn't show up or something. I thought you did one of those things where you register but you don't show up. But I guess you would have been like, what would have happened? Oh shit. Oh my god. Our Swiss trophy. I'm gonna guess the Sack Draw is a Smith-Morra fan. Alright. I know, I seem to attract, like, opposites here. People who play bullet chess, people who love the Smith-Morra. They just want to troll me. Mule Skinner, 70 months, subscribe. Mule Skinner, you know, your Mule Skinner 71, right? Coincidence? He has one more month left. No, Mule Skinner 71 means he's older than me. Michael Adams was born in 71. You're the same class as Michael Adams. Chess class. Michael Adams chess class here. I forgot to berserk again. What's wrong with me? Michael Adams doesn't get enough respect, dude. Of course he gets respect. He's a monster. He collects all kind of hardware at every senior tournament he goes to. He has to bring a cardboard box with him to put all the trophies and fucking medals and shit that he wins, dude. Are you kidding me? Michael Adams gets total respect. I shook his hand and I said, dude, you know, you deserve a lot of credit for this result because he's beating people with a 2,700 performance rating, and nobody's underrated. I mean, nobody's overrated. You know, he's beating people who already had their ratings like beat down, and still getting a 2,700 performance rating against a bunch of people who've already like been beaten down for all their rating points and their lunch money. Michael Adams is so modest that he came up with a counter argument. This is typical British, like. It's typical British politeness, like self-deprecating. Like you have to, of course, he had to come up with like a self-deprecating argument to take away from his accomplishment. He was like, well, you know, there's different kinds of players in the senior tournament where, you know, the players who are keeping up with things, and then the other players who are just like amateurs, you know. I was like, all right, dude. Typical. I was like, come on, man. You just like wasted a bunch of people who are already like probably slightly underrated. Yeah, humble brag. He was undefeated, never was in danger in a single game, and had a 2,700 performance rating. No big deal. He was the whole English team. Well, I mean, Fleer and board 3 and 4, board 2 and 3 were struggling. Ems and Fleer kind of struggled, but of course Arkle did well because he's so active. Keith plays so much that Keith and Michael did really well, which is to be expected. Board 4 is pretty easy, and Adams is so strong, but the other boards didn't do anything special, and that's why they didn't win. They finished third. Sorry, third. Italy finishing second. But Adams can't, beat the whole team. They had 2 good boards, and the other 3 were doing okay. I mean, Fleer's getting up there. I don't know. He's not a spring chicken. So honestly, I thought that Fleer would be old enough to be in the 65. They had an amazing 65 plus team. The English, John Nunn, board 1. Tony Costin was board 2, and Jonathan Mestel was board 3. I had never even seen Jonathan Mestel in real life because he's played almost not at all since like the 80s. But now that I mention it, yeah, Nedog's talking about Louis Armstrong. Nedog, what do you have against chess? Black gave up the center. He has a problem with chess. It's alright. I have bipolar ADD with OCD too. This is very bad for Black to give up the center here. People who died in 1971, well, that's cheery. I wonder why I never saw Jim Morrison. Although they claim... Wait, was there conspiracy theories? Jim Morrison was still alive, right? Anyway, I prefer to talk about people who were born in 1971. Be a little more positive. Newell Skinner, Michael Adams. No center. So we have bishop g5, or the e5. Yeah, this is bad. Black has failed. The Borg cube. Listen to this. Most of my time, the only person I really interacted with much was Ginsburg, because we're the only American. They're like, I mean, there's 2 American teams, right, with 8 or 9 players. Actually 3, and the other guys are Indian Americans. But Mark Ginsburg and I are the only American-born players, in all the American teams. We're still segregating. Ginsburg and I lived through the Soviet takeover of American chess, so I think in the back of our minds there's still this kind of, we hate the Russians because they took away our tournaments and prizes and stuff. In the early 90s, everybody was very resentful of the Soviet players coming to the US and taking our lunch money. And Ginsburg and I, Ginsburg more than me, lived through that. And we're here playing in a chess team for the USA. The USA 1 had 5 former Soviet players. That was their team. And USA 2 had, 2 out of 4 former Soviet players on their team. Pretty crazy, huh? So I was talking to Ginsburg, and Mark has a lot of experience and stories, and so he was saying to me that my big philosophy is control the center, and in recent times. And Ginsburg was like, well, Petrosian said that control the center is the most overrated principle in chess. I call bullshit on that, as much as I respect Petrosian, I think that control the center is more important than material, probably. But Petrosian claimed that material was more important. I don't know, man. But I think control the center isn't overrated. It isn't overrated. It's totally not. Like, I get that you can attack on the flanks and stuff. Material is overrated. These new glasses allow me to see the board. They don't let you take pens into the playing hall. I'm surprised they let people take their glasses in. Google Glass. Has anyone ever been like caught cheating with like computerized glasses? Metrics. Dragonfly Hunter better have a good plan in a position. Nobody's going to argue with that, but I think it's weird to call them metrics. I wouldn't call control the center and material metrics. I mean, they're principles, not metrics. They're fundamental principles, like fundamental features of positions. I guess they can be used as metrics, but they're not metrics in a true sense, They're not like some statistics. I mean, they're real things, Well, the control of the center, yeah, it's massive. But I'm speaking more to what do people tend to overvalue and undervalue. And material is the easiest thing. That's what we all grasp first, I think. And thus that's why it's overrated. Everybody, the first time I started playing with chess pieces, we didn't even know the rules really, and of course, the first attempt at chess was in third grade, playing it like checkers, where we're just like trying to capture the other guys. Right? Yeah, Zen chess. I agree. Everybody knows these principles are important, but it's a question of like which are more important than others, and I'm not sure that's even possible to define. But what I can define is the fact that there seems to be a tendency with myself and most chess players tend to overvalue certain things more than others. I felt I've always undervalued central control a bit. Perhaps. Should I go for maximum material? You see, here I'm being materialistic. We're being kind of materialistic there. I want to play for mate, acerbate. Can I play for mate? Double check. Screw the material. We play for mate. No, that's not rational. There are other ways to win without mate. I'm being a little irrational. But anyway, it's good to argue about this kind of stuff. Not argue, but debate. Okay, we're debating. Think about it. Ginsburg points out Petrosian really felt that material was underrated. Okay, you got to get the context, though, Petrosian obviously wasn't talking about like 1,800 players. 1,800 players do not like underestimate Now, knight h4 check is the most forcing move on the board. But Aspade, how do I get my queen to the deadly diagonal? This is for Astrobate. In Astrobate's style. That's why he drew so much. You know, Trojan gets kind of a bad rap. He when he wanted to win, he was brutal. He could. It's very hard to predict his moves. He knew how to like play for a win at all costs. Okay, so check, check, check. Check, check, check. Check, check, and check. That was cool. And that's not even talking about the Aster mate. And the artistic side of chess, right? We're not even factoring in the artistic side of chess. What do you want out of chess? Yul Skinner in first place. I need to start berserking. I can't believe I didn't berserk that game against the lowest rated player, one of the lowest rated players, and I still didn't berserk. What's wrong with me? Thematic and artistic. Uber driver, Yul Skinner, take him down. Yul Skinner, what is that? The Aliakin's defense? What is Uber driver playing? Was that a French? Caro Khan. It was Caro Khan, I bet. Mate is the overrated. Elvis and Fort Knox. Oh no. Fort Knox is the worst. It looks like it was Fort Knox. That's the worst. Mr. Coffee can tell you, Uber driver, don't play the Fort Knox variation. That's the worst, bro. It's horrible. Ooh. You have 0 winning chances. Some drawing chances, and a lot of losing chances. Especially against good players. If you're going to play the stupid Rubinstein variation, at least play knight d7. Or maybe the weird knight f6. I don't know why it's called Rubinstein variation. I mean, it gives him a bad name. Rubinstein was so good in the openings. It's sort of a pity to name that variation after him. You know, really. Seriously. Almost didn't make it in time. Ali Reza GM. I won my first Kraken in Krakow. Did you guys realize that? My Kraken, I played it like 4 times. The Kraken. Phil McCracken? I played the Kraken like 4 times, and now I finally got a win with it. Although my opponent was like 2,000 something, 2050 or I don't know. I played it in round 1 because I didn't like her boring shit. She plays the closed Sicilian. I was going to kill myself if I get it. I couldn't handle it, you know. The closed Sicilian. So the others were before, you know, in other tournaments I played it. But I haven't won with it until this. Here she played bishop e2. You know, this is a theoretical novelty. Bishop e2. I was like, what? So you faced this opening you've never faced before, and you played bishop e2 here? I was like, why? Why bishop e2? You know, it's kind of random. She usually plays fianchetto. I thought she might play g3 if she plays the... If she plays the, you know, she plays the closed Sicilian. If you play the white side of closed Sicilian with like 3 g3, why would you play bishop e2 against the Kraken? Isn't that kind of strange? Like, why wouldn't she play g3? Right? Can you explain that? I mean, really? This is Phil Rizzuto for the Money Store. Okay, so now, if d5, e5, wait, that's reasonable French. All right, I'm not going to do that. What I am going to do carefully evaluate the hell I'm doing here. It's been a while since someone played this critical line. So, wasn't it Uber Driver who discovered this variation, like b5, e5, b4, queen f3? Rook a7. Well, I mean, I have no idea what's going on. b5 is not the only move, and it's not the safest move for sure. You can contact what? So far, I played the Kraken and the accelerated Kraken. I once played like the critical lines with f4. I had knight f3. I had bishop d3. I had bishop e2. Do you have any critical lines? So e5. Well, I'm not forced to play b4. I could also play. How does this guy know these moves? Who is Ali Reza GM? Is this the actual Ali Reza? I think he's listening to the stream and then like playing what I suggest. Oh no. Oh no. Wait a second. Queen f3, rook a7, d5, pawn takes c3. That can't be right. That leads to insanity. Well, no, I mean, I can play d5, right? So queen f3, d5. I'm not sure queen f3 is the right move here. I'm just saying it was a legal move. In a similar position, it was a move. I'm not sure it's a good move here. So don't play stuff because I said it. It's just a legal move. It's an idea that I have to be careful of this diagonal. I'm not certain that's a good move here. It's been a while since I looked at this, so I don't take any responsibility for correct play for either side. The first day I was falling on... Oh, chess base is the worst. Chess base is horrible. I hate chess base. Almost as much as Fatachnik. And the irony is that Fatachnik worked for chess base a lot. Isn't that ironic? I hate chess base, and I really dislike Fatachnik. Well, chess base isn't as bad as like the evil chess site. There was some crazy game in a similar position, with like both sides queen, but here I have to take. No, Sebe had a game like this. Maybe the same position. But I don't know about the bishop being on e3. Sebe Attila had the only other people like grandmasters who played the Kraken are like Sebe and Merva, who was at the World Senior. And then IM's the Danish guy. So, but I can't remember this was the position I looked at. I think so. One of the positions I looked at. Queen a5 is always bad. You know that. So I don't think I've ever had this on the board. This position is purely purely theoretical. He's the only one who can defeat the Sauron. Who's that now? Sauron or the Sauron? Sauron. Well, Gandalf fell off the stage in the West End, the East End, or whatever it's called. East End. Anyway, the White Wizard is dead. The White Wizard went down. We can joke about it now because he recovered, but all right. So quite a player here. By the way, how do I get this opponent? I didn't see him in the list. Where did he come from? It's very Grunfeldian. But now how do you defend c3? So if there's ever a moment for queen a5, it's now. You see, the point was he had knight e2 before. Aha! Yeah, it's a Grunfeld. He came after playing 300 bullet games in the evil site. Who's that? Like an old-fashioned Kasparov Karpov. Old-fashioned. I don't know about exchanging pawns, but I really, I don't mind trading queens here. I'm undoubling his pawns. Yeah, maybe this is a serious mistake. It wouldn't surprise me. It's not really a Grunfeld. You know, and this pawn exchange may be, in fact, a serious error. We can't screw around here. I will say that. Black cannot mess around in this position. White's king is in the middle of the board, but so is black's. Black's, I mean, both sides have played basically perfectly, I would say, up until this point. I have e5, which looks risky, because my king is in the center too, but I mean, the e-file is kind of stuffed up. So what's he going to do if I play e5? I mean, bishop c4, some trick. D takes c, d takes c. I mean, I'm fine. e5, rook b1. No. e5, take, 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 take. Bishop f3. That's kind of scary. I don't like bishop f3 at the end of the day. But I would have rook b8 and kind of go from there. What if I don't do it right away? I should wait. If I wait and I play like castles, he has rook b1 getting off the file. Again, I forgot to berserk. I'm not going to berserk against these super fast players, though. You know, it's like stupid. I forgot to buy beer today. So, I mean, I think if Black does nothing, the control the B file becomes a serious issue. On the other hand, what am I doing on like e5, d5? I'm probably fine. e5, d5, pawn takes f4. Alright, I'm gonna do it. I can get out of here in one move. I disappear. Your king can't disappear from the center. My king can disappear from the center. It's like a magic trick. I'm out. You know, that's the inherent difference between white's position and black's position. One of the most important differences here. We can castle, they can't. I'm out of here. When I want to get out of here, I'm out of here. Whoop. All right. Now things are getting kind of sharp. If he plays d5, it's a very imbalanced situation. But I have knight e7, and I'm threatening e4. Or am I not threatening e4? Maybe I'm not threatening e4. Well, anyway, whatever. Okay, it's like a d5, knight e7, or knight d4. Knight d4 is safer. Knight d4 is safer. I might have to play knight d4. d5, knight e7. e4 doesn't work because of bishop d4. Even that might work. There's some crazy positions here. Like d5, even e4 is possible. Wow. Trying to win the exchange. If I try to win the exchange, d5, e4. Pawn takes knight, and his rook is hanging, and his bishop's hanging at the same time. But if bishop takes f3, bishop takes a1, c7. No. Yeah, that would even work. You could even sack a rook. temporarily. There's so much complication here. White could play c3. It's like solid passive. Or passive solid. Shouldn't he just play knight takes c5? It should be about equal. Unless I missed something. You learned a Philly slang word. Wow. That's new. Okay. I see a really unexpected move here. Bishop c4. How does that work? How does that work? That doesn't work. That's crazy. You played bishop c4 with the idea of bishop d5? I'm taking a bishop with check. So if I take on d4, you can't play bishop d5. Lose a piece. So what's your idea? You're just losing a central pawn? He's got to move his bishop somewhere, like f4. So what? I'm good. I'm castling, and he has nothing. That's insane. Wow. Bishop takes f7 check. What the heck are you doing? I can't believe he did this. In the words of Kiefer. Right. Right. That's a gift. It was a gift. I'm just winning now. Bishop e6. Bishop e6 is good. But if I do bishop e6, I probably have to play rook h1, king d7, or something awkward. Castles is safer, obviously. Does he have some tricks for reals? Well, whatever. I mean, yeah, this is unbelievable. I have bishop d7. I'm golden here. We're up a very... Oh, I'm not up a pawn. Oh, man. I was down a pawn? What? I didn't realize I was down a pawn. See, that's why material is not important. If you don't even know how much material you have, it definitely wasn't important anyway. Who cares? It's a pawn. It doesn't matter. Rook d1. Wow. Now that's a cold-blooded move. We're going to need to rethink. We're going to need to rethink our strategy. Rethink. Amazing how few options I have here. Minus 28,000 games. Very high chess 960 rating. That's indicative of a master level player. Classical rating close to 2200. Rapid over 2200. Then his blitz and his split isn't that high. I always think this is like Dr. Trip Chance, like Smurf account. They're both from Iran. I gotta try to pronounce stuff correctly on occasion. I really need to start to try to pronounce stuff in a correct way. Iran. It's Hungarian style too. Iran. The juicer. Interesting. A juicer. Is it shaped like a juicer? Shaped like other things. I don't like these pieces. Did they change? Now that I have glasses, the pieces look so much more detailed. I'm not going to say what the bishops look like. They look weird. He fixed my pawns. Look at those beautiful connected pawns. You can't tell me that's fine. Oh, it's a Nakaism. Yeah, don't tell me about that. It's weird that Hikaru became a streamer because I didn't think he really had much personality when he was younger. He was kind of arrogant punk, but not exactly filled with personality. You think like someone who would become a successful streamer would have like tons of personality, but I guess he grew into it. He achieved some level of personality at some point. Okay, we have a check on h6. I got nothing against Hikaru. I almost like him in some way, but I haven't seen him in a long time. Almost. Doesn't count, as they say. Alright, connected pawns. This is a close game. But my pawns is not mobilizing properly. I can't just advance in 5e4, unfortunately. Not so easy. Black is okay. We is okay, but we is better? I don't know if we is better. If I play rook f7, what happens then? Not clear. There's also bishop h6 check. It's a neat idea. What does it do, though? Just forces him to play king d3. What if I play a5? He'll probably play like a3. This is tricky. I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm fine. I might even prefer black here, but the objective truth is that it's probably equal. I have an interesting move. I have another interesting move here. I just realized. This looks pretty cool. We're going to try it. It's a swinger. We call this the swinger. I love rook f5. Slingers. We're slingers. That's probably engine number one move. You know? Seriously. This move does everything. And when you find this move, my first idea was rook f7, but it's passive, you know? And then you pick up your rook and you're like, wait a minute, I have a better place to put this rook. I think white is still okay, but, you know, it's good to find a best move that you're like, yeah, that's definitely what the engine would say. Like rook f5, I would almost wager on it being the engine's number one move. Ask the rook where it wants to go. Exactly. Where would you like to go today? To go to the zoo? Aha! You found that move, attacking my innocent little pawn. Very annoying. So I have rook c5, rook c5, Or e5. See, now I have a dilemma. Cutting off my own rook despite my face. Yeah. This game should be a draw, probably. This is going to be a draw, most likely. Maybe I'm being too pessimistic now. Knight d8. Knight d8 is so passive. I don't want to do that. And there's rook c5, rook e6, rook c5, rook e6. And then it's like my game from the World Senior where I freaking... What about bishop h6 check? Bishop h6 check now, or at some point? At some point. Bishop h6 check now. Then I'll get forked by rook e6, so that's good. Bishop h6 check, king d1. Yeah, I don't know what to do. Alright. I just wanted to double my rooks. Rook takes e6, knight d8, rook e8 check. Bishop bishop f8, followed by like bishop d6, and I get mated. Or allow some sort of back rank. Yeah, that's what I was really hoping for. So rook takes e2 check, it's a draw. Well, knight e5, knight c4 is nice, but he'll probably get like perpetual on the 7th rank. If knight a5, and don't, let's see, knight a5, you're not. I don't know about knight a5. Knight a5, rook a7. And my knight is stuck on the side of the board. Yeah, I can go to c4, but then what? White's threatening the 7th rank. I felt like I would go with rook takes c2 check here. I'm getting low on time, so it's probably a draw. I think White's going to come down with a very good center pawn loss here. Almost engine-like. He's coming down with something, all right. He's got a good king. Knight d8 is not good, right? You might want to calculate before you make claims. Before rook sac. Oh yeah, no, we saw that. Yeah, that's true. That was I made that. Yeah, obviously I made that comment. It's a draw. This is a draw. That's a weird move to play. Kind of a weird move. Very strong. I opt for a draw. I mean, knight in 3 against knight in 3. White's a tiny bit better here, but it's got to be a draw. Jesus Christ, dude. He was winning. Well, okay, he was better by 1.7 after king takes c2. That's incredible. That's incredible, bro. He played better than I did. One mistake. I made a mistake and an inaccuracy. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? Not all draws the same. Like with that lady at the tournament. Lady. She's no lady. She behaved like a monster. She gave me the look of death. She was like working for the USCF. You can't behave like that as an ambassador. The USCF. What are you, an idiot? Ambassador for chess, for women in chess. Beatrice Marinello. She expected me to just give her like a gift draw because it's equal. You know, I've been doing that for like 8 years now against like little kids. I've had enough. I can't just be giving everybody my rating points, you know. Give enough rating points away. I'm not going to just give people draws because they reach a drawn position with a lot of play left. It's ridiculous. She stared at me with this evil look and like wouldn't shake my hand after the game. What did I do? I mean, that's fine if I did something like immoral or like unsportsmanlike, but my behavior was perfect. There was absolutely no call for that. You can't behave like that. What are you, Kasparov or something? I mean, it's ridiculous. All right. The look of death. What, Mr. Coffee? Really? No, I never met her. Or, like, you know, I've only ever like know that she was like married to John MacArthur. I don't think that's a good sign either. But I don't know. Whatever. Not important. I've been playing chess for many years. Um, and I completely accept people being pissed off if I was to do something like annoying or whether incidental or on purpose. And I get pissed off at people too, but if there's nothing, you know, bad happening during the game, and then you just like act unsportsmanlike afterwards, dude, that's like, imagine this woman is like coaching kids and stuff. Like, seriously? How did you decline the draw? No, I mean, I declined the draw like everybody who's like, I declined the draw like an Icelandic grandmaster. I was like, I'd like to play. I politely said, I'd like to play. And then she was like, you'd like to play? Or something like that. I think she made a comment. Like, that's very unusual. The maximum that anyone ever says in this situation is, okay, it's fine, or something like that. I never had anyone be like, oh, you want to play, or something like that. It was already like, trouble is brewing here, you know? But listen, if you just ignore their draw for that's not necessarily like incorrect. You don't have to say like I'd like to play on. It's just like extremely polite. I don't consider it rude to decline a offer by not answering. I think that both things are okay. It's just a matter of style. You're not required to answer when someone offers you a draw. But you probably shouldn't be like, whatever. I'm a troubled teenager, whatever. You're going down, whatever. Whatever. That's probably not what you should do, you know, if you want to make any friends. But I mean, there was the guy from South Africa who offered me a draw in a completely lost position. You know, he wasn't down any material, but he was completely lost. Um, and like he offered a draw because we had already won the match, like decisively. And I think like he hoped that somehow I would just give him a draw because the match was decided already. But obviously you need tiebreak points. I'm not going to give this guy a draw. He was completely lost in addition, so. Khalifman. Khalifman variation, oh boy. As they say, I'm gonna try something, maybe try something different here. What happens if I play? No, I don't know the line very well. I mean, I gotta play what I've played. No. Bishop d2. Pawn takes pawn. Knight b5. Well, let's try it. I've never played this way. I guess it's a variation. Whatever. You have to say it like from South Park. I offered a draw to Carterson in the last round. Notice when I offer a draw, I'm better by like 0.2. All right. When I offered a draw against Shabalov, I was better by like 0.2, 0.3. When I offered a draw against Charterson, I was better by like 0.2. That's the proper time to offer a draw to a grandmaster. Wow, knight e7. Charterson was like obligated to play for a win because his team was like collapsing around him. I don't know how I thought he might accept it even in a slightly... Well, I mean, I knew I was a tiny bit better, so my position was fine. Then I collapsed. Declining my draw broke me psychologically. So now what? Knight e7. Can you really do that? That can't be right, master. Seriously? How can it be right? How can that be right? You can do that? I don't believe it. So takes. I don't believe it. Really? I'm going to take this. I know I'm going to regret this. All right. How does that work? What? Wow. It's the Krakow. Is this a real thing? There's so many different ways to decline draws. We could have a whole like class on that. Maybe that would be a good meme stream. Draw. How to decline a draw. The various ways of declining draws. Part 1. That annoying guy who makes all the blogs. Now he has a new blog, the Indian guy, FM whoever. He has a new blog on how to get students if you're a chess coach. Dude, seriously? You're gonna give away the secrets of promoting yourself? That's unbelievable. He probably does like how to get girls. Like Andrew Tate. How to get girls as chess coach. When is that blog coming out? Seriously, bro. How to make like annoying blogs that mean nothing. How to crank out annoying blogs. No draw, play. Simple and straightforward. And very alpha male. You know my most famous like draw declination, right? Like I've told the story. After poor Steven Weiner offered multiple draws, I told him I'd rather die than have a draw with him. He didn't offer any more draws after that. But I said it really loud, so everyone like within like 10 meters of the board heard me. I went on to win a practically unwinnable position. It was the principle of the thing. Now what do I do? Queen c7. You know, again, material is overrated. So do I really want to play like b4? if I play b4, I mean, I'm weakening my position. I'm weakening the position of the bishop on c3. He can play b6, and ultimately, I'm not going to be able to hang on to that pawn anyway. So I think I should just like let him have that pawn. Let him have the c5 pawn, and do my best. You know, I mean, if b4, b6 is sort of sucks for me. That's grammatically incorrect, Mr. Puffy. I think I said I'd rather die than have a draw with you. It was just an emotional reaction. It just came out. It was like, everyone's looking at me. Are you allowed to do that? Can you say that to your opponent? His dad was there. The guy has a very mild-mannered dad, which is good. Prefer mild-mannered dads. But the dad was there. He was taken aback. His dad wasn't like right there, but I think he was somewhere within hearing distance. But it was, you know, Steve wasn't a little kid. He was like 16 or something. I mean, it wasn't like I'm saying this to a 9-year-old. You know, he was a large teenager, very tall, probably like 5'11", 5'10". I mean, lanky teenagers can be, they're fair game for like insulting draw declinations. It was like his third draw for something. I was losing my mind. It's like, dude, you're not going to do this anymore. I don't care if you're autistic, you know. You're not going to offer a draw every 3 moves. But it worked. What motivated me? You know, I think Hjartarson was motivated when I offered him a draw. That's when he like got me. He played h5. He declined my draw with a kind of aggressive, risky move, and then I collapsed like a bunny. I was tired. It was 10 o'clock in the morning, honestly, and I'm playing a former world championship candidate. Have you ever made a little kid cry? You know, to be perfectly honest, guys, I hear this a lot. Like people saying like their opponents, little kids who cried. Like one of my students had this happen last week. You know, but I saw Sunil cry, like, but he wasn't playing me at the time. Sunil cried when he lost to Bill Kelleher. As a, you know, 45-year-old adult, or something, maybe even more. But Sunil is like emotionally unbalanced. But you know, I guess I don't recall a little kid really crying against me. Do you enjoy making little kids cry? If so, take up live chess. Play over the board. Yeah, I mean, really, everybody's like, why don't you play chess online? You know, and I'm like, oh, you don't really get the same feeling out of making little kids cry. You know, it's just not as satisfying. That's a good one. I'll try that next time somebody asks me if I play chess over the board, or why do I play chess over the board versus online? You know, you just don't get the same. You don't get the same feeling from making little kids cry online. No mercy. I hate chess parents. That's why I don't teach kids. People think I don't like kids. But the truth is I hate their parents. You know, there are some really nice chess parents, but they're the exception, not the rule. I really dislike most kids as parents. I want to play h4. Would you mind if I did that? Mm-hmm. Well, honestly, like the really trend toward massive amounts of little kids playing chess has accelerated in recent years. So I stopped playing in the U.S. back in 2006, effectively. Since 2006, I've only played in maybe like 5 tournaments in the U.S. It just seems like it's accelerated to the point where like it's almost only like little kids playing in tournaments now. Whereas like 20 years ago, it wasn't quite as much so, so and being like a strong master, I didn't routinely face little kids. I don't play 6-year-olds, and I've very rarely played anyone under 2000. Um, One of our friends, but I mean, that Ben Goldberg was always a punk. You know, he's not some innocent little kid. Sack mate. Sack mate never works. Bishop takes h7. The Greek gift sacrifice here. I'm a little skeptical of that. Take, check. Take, check. He has king h6. He has king h6. Or king g6. My bishop's on the wrong square. It should be on d2, not on c3. No, I think that white just has an overwhelming position here. This is not Neil Skinner's best game. I think he should have played knight g6, honestly. Because knight g6 gives him knight f4. So if h4, knight f4, I'd have to go back to f1. But I think that black does something wrong. There's something wrong with this position for black. Like, something dramatically went wrong already. What about this, though? If I do bishop d4, does that make my position better or worse? It's probably better. At the same time, I'm like helping him correct the vulnerable position of his queen, and I'm walking into knight c6. But I still have a massive advantage. Now, now I'm thinking like it might work. Bishop takes h7. Bishop takes h7, king h7. Check. One of our friends, Dragonfly Hunter, probably knows who it is. Hey, Dragonfly Hunter, you know who is Netog? You guys know each other, right? Yeah. I met Netog. I met Netog with you. You introduced me to Netog. I think you introduced me to Netog. No? Yeah. Yeah. You guys introduced me to him. Then I didn't see him for a long time. What about knight g5? We got knight g5. No need to be fancy here. That was before. You know what's really sad, dude? That Dragonfly Hunter was replaced by Witch Boy. I think that was a bad trade. Ah, the U.S. Senior starts today, right? Dragonfly Hunter, did you hear that Eric Bowden died? That's crazy, huh? I like Derek. He was kind of a dick sometimes. He once told me I would never be an IM. That's a weird thing to say, though. Like you're too social. He said I was too social to be an IM. But it's like, who says that? You know, why not, like, you're too social to be a GM and IM? He was wrong. He was right about the GM, though. If he had said you're too social to be a GM, he could have been right. But anyway, you get the point. Eric believes that, like, you know, grandmasters have to be like these antisocial sort of Bobby Fischer-like people. I don't know. You know, that's the thing. Someone told me the only thing I heard was that it was unexpected. So, in my experience, that means heart related, probably. My dad died of a heart attack, unexpected, and he had a similar sort of physical makeup to Eric. He was never really overweight, kind of high strung. You're gonna take a break because you're out in front. Bishop takes g6. Doesn't do anything. Take takes, queen takes. h4. That's not a bad move. h4, knight takes e5. What would I do after h4, knight? What would I do after h4, knight takes e5? I should just take on f7. I hope. He has knight f4. For real? That's not going to float. Right? Is it? Does knight f4 work? Knight takes f7. Knight f4? Oh my god. Why does Milskinner have so much time, bro? Why do you have so much time in a lost position? You remember he had some... Yeah, he had some chess account. I guess that was his name. And then he started calling himself that. I had this friend in college who was a fraternity brother of mine. He started calling himself the Dirt Man. Like, when you give yourself, like, this weird, like, nickname, going by your handle, Witch Boy, or Dirt Man. The Dirt Man. Dirt Man, I don't know about Dirt Man. Whatever happened to Dirt Man. Shit. Are you serious? I have to have winning position here. Knight f7. I don't believe it. Bishop g6, pawn g6, queen g6, pawn takes h5. And g5, and I'm down a piece. Knight f7. Knight f4. I don't believe it. Knight takes. Knight f7. Knight f4. Look at those bishops. Knight f7, knight f4. Queen g4. No. Knight h6 check. Pawn takes. Now my bishop on d4 does nothing. That was like totally not helping me. How about h4? I can't believe there's no combination here. Knight f7, knight f4. I can't believe that works. It can't work. It can't work. Knight f7, knight f4. My bishop on d4 does nothing. It's just a blocker. So we're gonna have to get creative now. I could just retreat. I don't really want to give up any stuff here, but he's gonna pile up on e5 and c3 as well. So this is an issue. I could play knight f3. Damn it. I can't screw around anymore. Knight e6. Knight f7, knight f4. Knight f7, knight f4. God. I can't believe it. There's nothing here. h4. Yeah, he's got that no matter what. This is just really unbelievable. I'm just gonna let my clock go down. Dude, clock. Yeah, it's clock. Alright. Whatever. Clock, dude. I still have an advantage. I can't believe that's not winning by force. That's unbelievable. Black has no development. I wasted time with bishop d4. I helped him with that move, I think. I would have had bishop b4 as well. So bishop d4 was a huge blunder. When I played bishop d4, I mean, I have this threat all the time, you know? He never would have been able to play knight g6 without dropping an exchange. There's no question about it. I'm still better, but it was bishop d4 was a terrible move. All right, obviously I'm not berserking in this tournament, so congratulations to whoever won the tournament. Mm-hmm. No. No, no. No, no. No, we're gonna develop. Neil Skinner is strange. I mean, I don't know. He has a low bullet rating, but he plays for time. He's kind of low bullet and blitz ratings, but plays for time, and he's kind of fast. But I guess he's used to like losing to little kids who play for time and are faster than him. I don't know. But it's like he hasn't used almost any time for this game. He had a lost position using no time. That's not good, you know. That's not good. You survived by pure luck, because I played bishop d4. You shouldn't be getting a lost position in 15 moves. The idea is not to get a lost position. Cemento. It's like Sacramento. It's right next door to Sacramento. Oh no. It's a Lakoism? That's gotta be something like before Lako's time, probably. Oh no. What do I do? Oh no. Speaking of Lako, there's no way that Lako invented that word. He must have heard it somewhere else. Surely it's older than Lako. It's not a standard, but I don't think he made it up. Lako streams. That's such a weird thing. Now there are Lako streams. How long have there been Lako streams? Like it's been going on for many decades. That's sad though. Oh no, Queen A4. Queen A4 is like triple exclam. I'm using the engine. It's an engine move. It's definitely an engine move. But I don't think he's cheating. But he just happened to find the engine move. Queen e4 was like brilliant. I mean, how is he so fast? He's 1700 in bullet, 1800 blitz. He's got 5,000 blitz games, 16,000 rapid. I don't know, man. If you were fast, why aren't you higher rated? This always frustrates me with people. Why is your rating so low if you're that fast? You're fast. You're actually fast. I played, oh my god, 399 games. No way. Dude, this is game 300 with Muleskinner. Finally, he made it to 300. Maybe that's why he's like super motivated. Was I hanging a pawn there? He's gonna flag me. Don't really get flagged by. He played a like perfect game now at the end. I'm just gonna offer him a draw because he's up a pawn and it's his 300th game. And I'm down to 22 seconds. And I think the position probably is a draw, but he shouldn't have traded queens. If you want to win there, you have to not trade queens. So queen d1. The only way to win would be here, and then win my pawn with the bishop and keep the queens on the board. This is definitely a draw. So bishop takes h7. Yeah, I don't think it's necessary. I mean, I think we got a point to figure out. I mean, first of all, he took here, right? I don't think he should take on c5. You know, he should play knight g6. Okay, I got to go back to the tournament, but does bishop h7 work? Well, it's like, yeah, he played queen takes c5. Yeah, it works. Bishop takes h7 works. And on the next move, my bishop d4 made it so it doesn't work. Unbelievable. Bishop d4 was the worst move ever. Zenchess is going to just take the day off now because he's up to 21 points. And Impure King is in second place. It's a very strange account. Impure King seems like he's around 1700 strength. I just forgot to berserk. But I have more fun just talking about the games and stuff. Why did I get 0 points? Oh, 2 draws in a row? I had 2 draws in a row. Where's Ali Reza? He just came to like play one game against me and left? No. What, he lost 2 games? To who? Ali Reza lost against Impure King? Wow, that's kind of upset. Impure King with 18 sent upon loss. 2 mistakes, but still. What's this dude doing? He wins, 2 draws, no. Played 9 rapid games. But he's losing games too. Alright. Well, anyway, resume. So, weird standings today. Impure King, Muleskinner has played. Look at it, how many games he's played, dude. What are you playing? Are you playing a 3-minute blitz tournament, Muleskinner? How do you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games already in this tournament? You're like Acerbate. Chess Riddler has 9. Because I have 2 draws in a row, Repunch. 2 draws in a row, I guess. Was it not 30? There's a certain amount of moves you have to make? I always forget the rules. I'm just here to play interesting games. I don't care about the berserking thing, to be honest. I don't care. You know, whatever. I just want to play. I just want to play some good games. So at this point, I don't care. I'm just not going to berserk. I'd rather play good games than they care about winning. You guys can win the tournament. Didn't Zen win easily last time? He won, didn't he? Nosferatu. Any good movie recommendations, Nadok? So you're not playing today? Bishop c5. Michael Adams style. Suspicious user. Monitoring. You guys like my glasses? I think I look like Brad Dourif now. Alright. Deadwood. I'm the doctor. I need longer curly hair. I didn't shave for a week. Can I do this? I think so. I think I'm going to start playing the... If I play the black side of Spanish, I'm going to start playing Archangel's base setups. You know, before I lost to Hjartarson at the World Senior Team Championship, he lost with black the round before in a Spanish against the Slovakian GM Merva, who should be a lot weaker. But I mean, playing the black side of the Bishop E7 Spanish is like kind of torturous. It seems like. So what if I were to play Knight E7 then D4? Yeah, this is why we're playing Bishop A7. No waste of tempo. Unless Marshall. Josh. Michael Adams. Michael Adams wins with E4, E5. Well, except for players at the top level who know that shit is like a forced draw. Aggressive openings become forced draws at some level. Like the Grunfeld and the Marshall and the Sveshnikov. And I'm playing the Spanish and it just became a joke of pianissimo. So that's great. Right? We're really happy about that. Because I played the black side of E4, E5 because I love to play the black side of the Joko pianissimo. Did I tell you guys how much I love it? It's so exciting. It's like, you know, you get to play the London system on both sides. You get to play against people who are playing the London, and then you get to play against people who play like, I like Mr. Bean, I'm like stammering. Oh, chemistry enthusiast. I didn't know what that was. Oh, it's a chemical formula. I didn't know that. See how long it's been? I had a really shitty science department in high school. My science teachers sucked. We had very, very mediocre science teachers, very mediocre math teachers, and excellent English and teachers in my high school. So I'm a product of that. Like, science sucked, but I'm good at like English and writing, and I should have been studying, like, somebody should have told me to wake up and like study. I was studying economics when I went to BU. That was a waste of time. I definitely had no business like studying economics or taking math courses. You know, I should have been doing like English or humanities, or I ended up getting a degree in psychology after wasting 2 years doing economics. And I had no interest in math, and I'm studying economics. The hell am I doing? What I needed was like a decent guidance counselor. Um, all right, boys and girls. So now what do we do? This is exciting. It doesn't get much more exciting than this. This is why I hate the Joker piano. No, it's a waste if you don't like math, man. I didn't like math. I don't like math, and I wasn't skilled at math, and I didn't have good teachers in math, and I didn't have good training in math, so I had no business studying a math-based, subject. What was I doing? What was I doing? Why was I doing that? It sounded cool to study economics or something. I'm an idiot. Who's doing the caps? Oh, it's fine, but I had no interest in it really. Um, but if I had had good teachers, seriously, if I had had good teachers in high school in math and science, maybe I would have been good and enjoyed math and science, and maybe I would have taken a real interest in it. But instead, if you don't have inspiring teachers, like there's no way you're going to be good at something. That's so pivotal, in chess, whatever, school. I mean, you need inspiring role models and teachers. Sex Did anyone ever tell you that you're very argumentative? Dude, undergrad econ goes far beyond high school algebra. Yes, you are. I would have been able to handle it if it didn't go beyond high school algebra. I just wasn't interested in doing math beyond that level. Well, that's also a long time ago too. I mean, I'm talking about undergraduate studies, dude. I'm talking about undergraduate studies 25 years ago. You know, as crazy as that sounds, it's significant, right? It's probably significant. Undergraduate studies, not only at where you're studying, but when you're studying. We used to go uphill both ways on the way to class. Man, I always had great English teachers, and then I didn't study English. It's sort of stupid because everybody's like, "Oh, you can never make any money from that." History, English, psychology. You just hear people constantly. Um, yeah, that's scary. True in some sense. Well, I think it doesn't matter anymore. Um, all you have to do is like do chess streaming, and you'll be rich. Repunch. That didn't used to be a thing. Now it's easy. Bishop c2. Wow, that feels counterintuitive. Boston. To be a Starbucks manager in Boston. To be a Starbucks manager in Louisville, on the other hand, Nedog, I think that's discrimination. Are you telling me that in like Kentucky you need a master's degree to be a manager at Starbucks? I bet you that you don't. You know, that's sort of stupid though. You know, that's not sort of stupid. Like it's very stupid. There's no way you need a master's degree to be a manager at Starbucks. You just need skills. You need skills. Of course, having management skills doesn't hurt, but you know, I don't think they have to be achieved through a master's program necessarily. Yeah, I don't go to Starbucks. I agree with Nedok. We don't do Starbucks. Coffee connection. It's probably like a Victoria's Secret now. Here we go with the center again. All longtime Starbucks employees get bachelors. What do they have? Some kind of online degree program? Ask Mr. Coffee, University of Phoenix. Okay, everything's a scam today. Medicine, politics, Starbucks. John Harvard's is gone. Weather is a conspiracy. Did you guys know that time is going faster because of climate change? I read today. The rotation of the Earth, just seconds faster because of the melting of polar ice caps, changing the speed of the Earth's rotation. You just read that a few minutes ago. You just think it was a few minutes ago. It was really a few minutes and a few seconds ago. Haha. And he's not even joking. All right, we're gonna go for it here. If you're not going to do anything, I am. I don't know, Dragonfly Hunter, but there's also other factors involved, I'm sure. The melting of the Earth's core. I remember when Jinji sacked the knight on G2 against me. I'll never forget that. It was funny, at the World Senior Team Championship, there was two guys at the tournament. There were two players at the tournament, an American team who I played in an action quad at the World Open in 1990. Like, what's the chances? Just a statistical little joke, but what are the chances that three people from the same random like World Open action quad would be playing in like the 1990 World Open action quad side event would be playing for the U.S. teams in the World Senior Team Championship in 2024. I played with Sokolin and Shabalov. We were reunited. We had like an action quad reunion. But I think the fourth player is probably dead. He was like an old man back then. Dude, this has to be something for me. Bishop takes h3, pawn h3, queen h3, queen f3. I'm having trouble getting my rook to the 6th rank. No. I don't see the combo working. How does it work? Takes, takes, takes. Queen f3, only move, and then I've got no nothing. It's no nothing I can do. I can't deflect anything. I can play knight g4, that does nothing. I have no way to lift a rook. Be funny. I can play d5. I'm really losing my focus here. Let's do d5. I mean, I've been trying to do this forever, basically. And black has a huge advantage. But I'm not winning, necessarily. Repunch, let the perfectionists play postal. I hate postal. Right? Postal. Otherwise known as correspondence chess. Yes. But that was a different era. Probably. Whenever I heard that quote once too. Whenever Yasser said that, no, I mean, you know, okay, you gotta take everything with. It's just not exciting. Checkmating people is exciting. Like, squeezing them with d4 is not exciting. Your first introduced to Jinji? US Open wasn't in Boston in the early 90s. It was in. It could have been in. Wait a second. It was like 89, wasn't it? I don't think it was in the 90s, Dragonfly Hunter. It was in 89. 88 or 89. Maybe 88. It was either 88 or 89, because I wasn't living in Boston yet. It was right before. It was right before I moved to Boston, so 88 or 89. Playing the US Open for the first tournament. It was my first tournament. Who does that, by the way? Playing there? Well, people do it. My first tournament was the New Jersey Open. Really high level. I remember it was a good tournament. I didn't play in the open section, but G5 is kind of, I'm getting tired. This is what I do. This is how I like messed up at the tournament too. I got impatient in round 8 and blew a winning position in very mild time pressure. I started losing my concentration. It's a nice knight you got there, Sledgie. I played g5. My first idea was taking on c3. Speaking of Yasser Seirawan, very interesting positional idea here is undermining the d4 square, which I first saw done by an example in Reshevsky's The Art of Positional Play. So you undermine d4 by pawn takes pawn, b4, weakening the d4 square. Speaking of Seirawan, I also saw Seirawan do it in a game. All right. I still don't have any combos, but I have g4. I don't know if that's good. Now things are getting a little more awkward. He's got some pressure if I'm not mistaken. You were standing outside the tournament hall. Jinji burst out of the hall, slamming doors. Jinji was a character, still alive. Who would think that he would have outlived Eric Godin, for example? Gigi not the health minded, or the berserk, but Gigi was always overweight and smoking and not sleeping. All right. Um, whatever. Whatever. Um, yeah, that's good. Um, my opponent is like staying alive here. Speaking of John Travolta, and also has a lot of time. Everyone has more time than me. Shinji's funny, but we got on bad terms because of me being pretty angry with him. I disowned him. I disowned him, and then he disowned me back. So we disowned each other. We never we never resolved. I I don't care. It's too late now. Um, it was stuff involving Perlstein, who was like training with Roman while I was working with him as well, and he basically like cost me this prize, a pretty sizable prize, like $500 prize, by selling a game and and like did it really overtly, and Jinji like approved it. He was like on the phone with Jinji, like asking Jinji how he should go about it or should he do it. And I was just disgusted, you know. I was just disgusted. I was like, look, I don't sell games. I mean, and I definitely don't like respect someone who would like condone or approve their like, young student buying or selling their games. I was like, dude, that's just gross. To be fair though, like Roman helped me a lot, but I was really pissed off about it. Probably I should have. It wasn't worth like giving up my friendship with Roman, but I felt that he should have been more principled. You never heard of selling games, right? Well, the Russians never heard of it. Roman definitely never heard of it. Well, the thing was, he did it, and I was blatantly fucked by it. Casella was there. I don't know if you knew Mike Casella. Even Sophia Rode as a director was there. She saw it happening, and we all knew that like it was like even a tournament director like blatantly knew the game was like being sold, but there was no evidence. That's how some people get G norms. You don't say. All right. So I'm not sure if Roman ever knew. Really, I never like talked to him about it. I just blew him off after that. We did not. That's a nice bishop you got there. That's great. Very interesting, Repunch. Thanks for your input. I think in most countries, it's not it's not a like condoned to just own automatic weapons. We're gonna go back to that subject again. Do not believe Saji. That's a nice bishop you've got there. So how do I break through? Wait, has skills. Oh my gosh. Maybe his bishop emerges. Oh, what do I do? I'm gonna penetrate on the dark squares. Oh no. You gotta give this guy credit. He's got high level defensive skills. I didn't really play competitively without no berserking. I'm really into slow games now. You know, funny, I didn't even notice I was hacking his A pawn. I love it when people are like, funnily enough, I didn't even notice I was hacking his A pawn. Is that important? Well, the time is up, guys, so someone won the tournament. Let's see. Zen Chess, tied with Sun Prism. Sun Prism, where did Sun Prism come from? Sun Prism. Where did you come from? Now that's a passed pawn. This is fun, right? We're having fun. No, no, no. No. Oh no. Oh no. Sincha started late? Yeah. I just didn't have the momentum to. I didn't feel like berserking tonight. Oh no. That was a tough round of resistance there by my opponent for a long time. That pass pawn's a bit much. That's going to be hard to deal with. He got into a very passive position early on. Okay, that doesn't count. All right, Zen Chess, congratulations. You only won 5 games, and that was enough. Unbelievable. He won the tournament and only played 5 games. And he beat Impure King, Sun Prism, Arbrenton, Chess Riddler, and Malformed. Wow, that was impressive, Zen Chess. Sun Prism played, on the other hand, 10 games and won 60% of them. Impure King, whoever they are, they won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of 9 ain't bad. And then they're in 3rd place. And then Mule Skinner in 4th, Uberdriver in 5th. My opponent from the last game in 6th with 4-0. Chess Riddler with many games, finishing 7th. Sparkle Horse in 8th place, gaining no points from my last 2 games. And Richard 9th, Asterbait 10th. Nice job, Asterbait, getting on the front page. Sanchez got offended. I hope so. I was trying to offend him. All right, Predator 2013. All right, I'll keep an open mind. In the spirit of cooperation, I'm not going to automatically ban people, exclude them from the Olympics. I want to see your FIDE flag, though. So, Ali Reza, error 404 not sound, only played 4 games. Steam Express was back. He's from Hungary. I didn't realize that. Our Swiss Trophy's new. Signed up for the principle of the thing. Fato Pasa, Repunj Bansal lost all of his games. Repunj, what were you doing? Did you really lose all 6 games? You put up a really good fight against me. And you lost in 1100. You lost in 2 moves. You lost in 1. You resigned after 1 move against 1100. That's impressive. Distracted. Malformed with 0. And Guga didn't actually play. Anyway, guys, Wednesday's off. We'll see you all. Thanks for playing. We'll see you all. Thanks for gift subs. We need donations. Much appreciated. We're up to $50. World Senior in Portugal. The Madeira pawn chain in November. So I'm trying to collect funds to go to the World Senior Individual Championship in Porto Santo, Portugal, November. So please donate. $69 if you can. Have a great Tuesday and Wednesday, guys. We'll be back on Thursday with the analysis stream.